Dave, we love when you're in a shitty mood, though.
Yeah, this should be a great show now. It's gonna be
Podcast go.
It's gonna be like top 5 ever. Hello and welcome to the Filter Free Podcast. I am your host, TJ Stevens.
Problematic.
Out of my left earbud.
Getting off to a banging start here, though.
Joining me as always,
Step ends.
Dollar Bill Dave.
I touched myself.
I just need to clip that. Just Dave leaning for I touched myself.
And Timmy C.
Goo, goo, goo.
Dave's is awesome, and he got a new hat, and it's hilarious. Are you drunk? Yes or no? And it's marked on the right-hand side for both.
Time limit draws get my panties wet. I love it.
We've covered this butt wipe on a few different occasions.
Butt wipe?
You don't call people butt wipe anymore?
No. I'm not 7. Good news is I've limited the producer's amount to screw us over this, so we're actually going to get to sing along with the songs now. You are welcome.
You gotta fight for your right to party!
Pow.
Hello and welcome to the Filter. I'm just looking at Dave's face.
So fucking mad right now.
Dave's having great audio tonight.
Oh,
I am your host, TJ Stevens.
Step ins.
Joining me as always, Dollar Bill Dave's here.
not in a good mood.
Chipper as always. And Timmy C.
Who?
Please remember to subscribe and rate this show wherever you get your podcasts, which, by the way, what platform are you guys on? Answers all of them. While you're at it, follow the show on Twitter at FF Podcast, on Instagram at Filter Free Podcast. Follow our network on Twitter at Ram Sportsnet, and of course, search for us on YouTube. Just search Filter Free Podcast. All of our episodes are there. Timmy, what is available on our Patreon when you go to www.patreon.com/Ram Network right here?
You will get all of our older stuff. Legends, Let's Rethink This, Old School Evolution of Evil. You will get current stuff. Football is getting paid with Tim and Dave. Timmy C is kicking ass.
I'm not good at it.
Wrestling with commercials. Plus, you'll also get our flagship shows. TNA Top 10, Talking Wrestling with Pondwater Dave, along with a ton of other bonus content, including Era's The New Generation, World Class Flashback, Power of the Pen, Hard Times and Beyond, the CWA Retrospective, and much more.
That is a lot. There's also, so I think we mentioned this on the last episode. We'll probably be uncorking the Portland Wrestling Show in December.
Yeah, I got kicked off that somehow.
You didn't. You just keep saying that. And I had somebody reach out and texted me the other day. For those of you on our Patreon, he was the last guest Miss Amy and I had on Power of the Pen, Mr. Zach Haydorn from right down the road here in Chicago. And he was pitching me ideas for that show, and I liked one of them a lot. So we're going to have to discuss that. I think it was a great idea.
We dig up Roddy Piper and do like a weekend at Bernie's style watch along with him.
I mean, we're going to do that anyway.
Okay.
That's Dave knows that's what we're doing. So that's half of it. But so there's that coming. I feel like there's something else coming down the road. I just can't remember what it is. There's so much.
Have either of you started the Vince McMahon documentary yet?
I have not.
I am an episode and about a half through it. Pretty interesting so far. It hasn't got into any of the terrible stuff yet. It's kind of following timeline. So episode 1 covers basically his upbringing, him buying the company from his dad, going up against the other territories. Episode 2, I'm about halfway through right now, and it's going through basically the Hulk Hogan era.
So you haven't even gotten to the steroid trial yet.
I'm walking up on it right now.
I'm halfway through the first episode.
Bill Simmons is a great storyteller, and I'm liking it so far.
So I'm guessing I'm gonna have to watch that probably tonight.
Well, no, you got 2 shows right tonight, but
oh, that's true. Well, I can do both.
And you're at work, so maybe you should, I don't know, work.
I'm on midnights.
Okay.
We don't do shit on midnights for safety purposes unless shit's breaking. That's the only time we go out there.
I want a job where I don't have to do anything.
Just
I'd
on
stay
midnight.
on. I'd stay on midnights then.
Oh, I'm not allowed to do that. We have to cycle through.
Okay.
But with all that being said, are we ready to start this show? Again, I said at the end of last week, this is our wheelhouse to me. The mid-90s is, to me, this is where our best shit comes out.
Yes, because it was the best years in the history of the world.
Man,
agree.
Dave, your mic sounds terrible.
Wow. Dave just quit the show. Well, I hope he comes back and he's ready, because this week we're going back to October 1995. I also realized that we have 5 shows to do in October.
I like it. I like October.
There's 5 Tuesdays. So, luckily for
Dave and I will be gone for like 3 of them. So
yeah, so we're gonna record all these in like 14 minutes, and then if you guys are like, wow, I wonder why they're not talking about current stuff anymore, because this episode was recorded 4 weeks ago.
well, this one wasn't.
This one wasn't, but pretty much everyone after this. Let's see what was happening in your world yesterday. Let's run through some events. Filter free up first. October 1st, Farm Aid 8 is held in Louisville, Kentucky, and had such acts as Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp, Neil Young, Hootie and the Blowfish, Steve Earle, and the Dave Matthews Band.
Farming capital of the world, Louisville. What was it, like horse farm aid?
Could have been.
Because they got lots of horse
It's
farms.
pronounced Louisville.
It's not.
Louisville.
You have to gurgle your tongue. But like in Spanish, you roll your tongue. Louisville, you have to like gurgle. You almost swallow it. Louisville.
Louisville. October 1st.
Wow.
There you go. October 1st, Mike Mussina of the Baltimore Orioles throws the team's 5th straight shutout, a 4-0 win over the Tigers. Of course, it was the Tigers.
That team have like Dennis Erickson on? No, who?
Craig Erickson.
No, it wasn't Craig Erickson.
I think you might actually be right on that for once. Let's see. 1995. Oh, I put too many 9s. Baltimore Orioles starting rotation. This is fun. Box score trivia a little early. Well, we know they had Mussina. They might have had David Wells in 95.
They did for a portion of it.
The Orioles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he went to the Yankees.
I don't remember that.
So Mike Mussina, Kevin Brown, Scott Erickson, Jamie Moyer,
Erickson,
Ben McDonald, Alan Mills, and Terry Clark were their 7 starters.
Oh, let me write those down for later.
Yeah.
They had a 7-man rotation. Holy shit!
Well, I'm guessing some of the, I think Kevin Brown in 95 might have been the year Kevin Brown was traded to Florida or San Diego. I don't remember which one. I don't think Moyer finished the year with Baltimore. So there you go. There's the 95. And that rotation pitched 5 straight shutouts. Mussina, I get
7 pitchers, of course.
Yeah, I mean, they're well rested. Staying in sports, October 1st, the Jacksonville Jaguars get their first ever win, a 17-16 win over the Oilers. The Jags moved on to 1-4 here.
Still looking for one this year.
Yeah. Along with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trash ass team.
Fun fact, both teams could still lose to the Oilers today.
Yep.
The Edmonton.
Well, that would be the Titans. I don't think so.
No, the Edmonton Oilers.
I don't
They'd
think we're
lose to
losing to the Titans.
They'd lose to the Midwest Canada and Sabercats.
Did you just throw an R? Did you just throw an R in Canadian?
Canadian. Canadian.
October 1st, the Yankees and the Rockies become baseball's first ever wild card teams. The Rockies become the first team ever to make the playoffs before their 7th season as they finish the year 77 and 67. If you're doing the math, that's 144 games. This was the year after the strike. October 1st, Margaret Gorman Cahill, the first ever Miss America in 1921, dies at the age of 90.
Heroin?
Actually, let me pull this up. I did have it saved in my notes.
Bulimia.
Wow. As reported by the U.S. Today, she died from whoring around. I don't know what that means, but
we're sorry, ma'am.
God rest her soul. October 3rd, O.J. Simpson is found not guilty in the murder of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman.
That checks out.
I remember that. Remember
On
watching
that,
that in school.
OJ murdered them?
No.
Definitely,
I was
allegedly.
there.
The
Oh, he's dead. Fuck him.
trial.
He killed them bitches.
Yeah, absolutely. October 7th, Ted Danson. I don't think he killed anybody. Marries Mary Steenburgen.
Still married.
Nice.
I wonder if Christopher Lloyd knew about that because I've seen Back to the Future 3.
Oh, yeah.
He
Is
ran
that
a
her?
train. He ran a train on her.
They are.
That's
It's a
her.
time traveling train.
I didn't know that was his wife.
Yeah.
Who? Christopher Lloyd or Ted Danson?
Dale Doback's mom.
That is good call.
Yes.
I'm not
It
going to
is.
call him dad. No one's going to ask you to.
We're a house of learned doctors. I manage a baseball team.
It's a small
We could
space.
just do this all day. It's okay that mine's. We open a little ball.
It tastes like it's a small space. It tastes like ketchup and onions. October 8th, Dan Marino breaks Fran Tarkenton's career completions record. You could have gave me a week to guess the quarterback who had the career completions record before Fran Tarkenton. I would not have guessed Fran Tarkenton.
It was
You mean
Tom
before
Brady.
Dan Marino?
What did I say?
Fran
Well,
Tarkenton.
before
before
Fran
Marino.
Tarkenton, it was like Bubby Brister or something.
Bubby Brister? He played after.
Yeah.
It was like
it was
Wizard
Bubby
White.
Brister Senior.
Actually,
Whizzer White.
It might have been, that's an actual person. It actually might have been Sammy Baugh. I'm thinking about it. Or like Norm Van Brocklin or something weird. October 11th, John Bobbitt has plastic surgery to increase the size of his ding dong by 3 inches.
Wait, you can do that?
Yes.
Brings it to 3 inches.
Yeah.
I've heard this story.
Yeah, I mean, it's great when you can go from nothing to 3 inches.
I think after it got chopped off and reattached, I'd just leave her alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need anyone near my dick with a knife.
No.
Keep that scalpel away from a pecker.
Can you just use like a series of clothespins, maybe?
Just some silly putty and put on the end of it.
October 11th, so OJ's back. He cancels an interview with Dateline. I can't imagine why that would be.
The glove didn't fit. That's why.
October
Murder.
12th. Yeah, he's a serial killer. October 12th, David McLean of the magazine Marlboro Man, as he's better known, dies at the age of 73 from lung cancer.
That's odd. I wonder how that happened.
Well, you got to think how much those dudes smoked back then, and they didn't have filters, and he still lived to be 73.
Well, he smoked a carton every time he took a picture.
Yeah. Non-filtered Marlboro Red 100s, and he still lived to be 73.
Pretty sure those don't exist. That's a lot going on. Unfiltered Marlboro Red 100. I don't think they have unfiltered 100.
They don't now. They did back then. Sure,
That's
they did.
crazy.
October 13th, Pamela Anderson is rushed to the hospital with flu-like symptoms. Meanwhile, I've gone to work with the flu twice this year.
You've had COVID twice
I
this
did.
year.
I've never tested positive for COVID.
Well, you got to test to actually test positive.
I did. I live with a nurse. You don't think she's like, here, put this up your nose immediately. I need the results.
Probably putting something
In your ass. October 14th.
I don't think that's where the test goes, ma'am.
October 4th. No wonder why I'm always negative. The Braves head to the World Series as they sweep the sorry-ass Reds in the NLCS.
I had a shirt I was going to wear that has like all the 95 Reds. It was a Cincy shirt. It's like Larkin and Taubensee and Vaughn and Pokey Reese but
I hated Eddie Taubensee when I was a kid. He always hit like 3 home runs every time he played at Wrigley.
it's kind of how I felt about Lance Barkman.
Little fat Elvis.
I don't care how bad of a year he was having. Anytime he walked into Cincinnati, he was like having 7 RBIs that game.
See, that's how I felt every time the Braves played the Phillies. John Kruk.
Oh, the Cruckster.
You knew
Fat
that
ass
some bitch was
Kruk.
going to get a hit.
Eddie
Should have been
Taubensee.
betting.
And then with Houston, they had a backup catcher named Tony Eusebio who always lit us up every time he played at Wrigley.
Whatever happened to that catcher?
Hope my microphone sounds good. Do I need to get close to the mic like this?
You know
Yes.
what's odd is
You
you
should
got
sit there like that the entire time.
you got
Okay.
that close, and I heard no difference. That's weird.
Oh, how do I read my note like this? Read my notes.
Yeah, you got it. Let's look at the top of your perfectly contoured head.
I have a
October
good bald head.
You do. You do have a good bald head.
It is.
October 15th, the Carolina Panthers win their first ever game with a 26-15 win over the Jets. What a stupid score.
Too bad they lost this weekend to the Bengals.
Who, the Jets?
No, the Panthers.
Are y'all playing the Panthers this weekend?
Red Rifle got shut out.
I don't think that's going to happen, man.
It wasn't a shutout, but he didn't score.
Dude, if y'all lose to the Panthers,
I'm retiring
hearing
from
the end
football
of it.
fandom. Yeah.
By the
You're not
way,
hearing the end of it.
go ahead and do getting football as TJ's picking Panthers covering the spread against.
No, see, here's the thing: is after this week,
October 17th, the
spread's
Mariners
only 4.5.
That's fine. October 17th, the Mariners dropped the ALCS to Cleveland, possibly the best team to ever not make the World Series.
King
That
Griffey
Mariners team
Jr., A-Rod,
was loaded. Tino
Randy
Martinez,
Johnson,
Edgar Martinez, Randy Johnson, Dan Wilson, Jay Buhner.
Dan Wilson.
Yeah.
How
Made
loaded
the All-Star team a
with
few
Dan
times.
Wilson?
Made the All-Star team a few times.
He's
Might have
no
been
Eddie Taubensee.
No, this might have been the year they had Florida Marlins legend Joe Ursulak in platooning in the outfield. October 17th, Keith Moore is sentenced to 6 years for robbing the singer Sting of $9 million.
What about the wrestler Sting?
The who?
The wrestler Sting.
What about him? He's not
What
involved
he-
in the story. That's
You
why
sure?
that's why I put the singer.
Okay.
Because I knew.
Well, but you said the Stinger Sting, so
I think the other Sting's fine in this story. I think
he should have.
he's the Scorpion death dropping people. Here in 95.
The Scorpion Deathlock should have been his punishment after he was found guilty.
Yeah, it should have been his punishment. Stinger splash. October 21st, Shannon Hoon, vocalist from Blind Melon, dies of a drug overdose at the age of 28.
I don't know who that is.
Blind Melon?
All I
I
can
can
say
say
is that my life is pretty plain. You know the little bee girl in the video that finds all the other little people dressed up as bees?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
What?
I'm sad now. October 27th, the contract signing moving the Cleveland Browns to Baltimore is officially signed.
They should do that again.
Move another team to Baltimore?
No, they should move the Cleveland Browns again because Cleveland sucks.
They should move them to Sandusky.
I think they should move the Bengals to South Northeast Montana. Because you're a terrible franchise.
I think they just call that North Dakota.
So, all right. So I'm confused. Speaking of, last night, Cleveland clinched the playoffs and won the Ohio Cup over the Reds and had T-shirts that said Cincinnati is in Kentucky.
Who did?
The the Guardians.
We used to be the Indians. We're going to talk about that.
They were wearing T-shirts that said Cincinnati is in Kentucky while they were celebrating. Is that an insult?
No, it's the Ohio public education system in full.
It's because
display.
Kentucky's stupid. They're saying Cincinnati is stupid.
That's true on both counts.
I should say Cleveland is part of West Pennsylvania.
In West Pennsylvania, born and raised.
That's just West Philadelphia.
Oh.
Philadelphia is actually East Pennsylvania.
I kind of like East Pennsylvania. Because then he could
In East Pennsylvania, born and raised.
Why do you like East Pennsylvania?
At the supermarket's where I spent most of my days.
like you don't see a happy upbeat sitcom from like Lawrenceville, Pennsylvania. And I made that town name up, but like Lawrenceville, Pennsylvania.
I've been there. It's a beautiful town.
I'm sure you have. The town I just made up in my head.
That's where my granny was born.
That checks out.
Her name was Lawrence.
Lawrence. That's who it was named after. Oh, Grandma Lawrence.
Oh, Grandma Larry.
Grandma Larry. Stories in the wheelhouse. October 2nd. We start the month of October with the most 1995 story ever. Oasis releases their second studio album that had become a juggernaut in the form of What's the Story Morning Glory.
I said maybe gonna be the one that saves me.
So the first album I ever got was 311, the Blue album. And then the first album I ever bought with my own money was Cracked Review, and then this one was second. The band, specifically the Gallagher brothers, had become almost a music industry joke. The brothers have certainly had their challenges and fights, including the band going on to MTV Plugged in '96 when Liam backed out minutes prior to their set.
That was unplugged, not MTV plugged.
Did I say MTV plugged?
Yeah.
You know what I meant. Shut up. It also turns out that both brothers, but especially Noel, are giant douchebags. I'm sure Timmy will handle that part, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm the information man in this show. This album was recorded on February of 95 to June of 95 under the label called Creation. Their first album dropped in 94, and it was a success, launching Oasis just short of international stardom, but it did put them on the map, especially in the UK. What's the story, Morning Glory?
That's funny that the name of the label was called Creation.
Creation.
Wait till we get to me. We'll talk about what they were creating.
Stupidity?
Just keep going.
Okay.
Just
the story? Okay. What's the story, Morning Glory? Was their follow-up effort, and this time the band would clear the hurdle and become international superstars. During this time, there was a battle going on in the UK music scene of two upstart bands in the forms of Oasis and Blur. I think we could safely call this fight in favor of Oasis.
I don't know. Song 2 is pretty good.
Song 2 was a juggernaut, but they name another one.
That's twice you've used the word juggernaut. Stop doing that.
I'm the juggernaut.
I like the word, but name another Blur song.
I can't.
There you go.
Song 1.
I can name you this entire album.
And song 3. And song 4.
Wasn't song 2 in Starship Troopers? I feel like it was.
Mm-mm.
I think it was. When the album dropped here on October 2nd, the Daily Express in the UK reported that the album was selling at a rate of 2 per minute. After 1 week, the album sold 345,000 copies, making it the second fastest selling album in the history of the UK behind only Bad by Michael Jackson. The album then spent the next 7 months on the UK's top 3. The number 4 single from the album is definitely the most known, and that was Wonderwall. Wonderwall hit the top.
Gonna be the one that saves me. After all, you're my Wonderwall.
They hit the top 10 in several countries, including number 1 in Australia.
Good day.
Good day.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
Did you not hear it?
I keep freezing up a little bit. Did you do the
Of course. We said good day.
New Zealand.
Hey!
And while hitting number 8 in the United States, Fat People. The album topped the charts in the following countries. Here we go, Tim. This one's just for you. New Zealand.
Hey!
Canada.
Maple syrup.
Ireland.
Guinness.
Adam O'Neill.
Oh. Sweden.
Oasis.
IKEA.
And
Clock.
Switzerland.
Chocolate
Chinese.
clocks.
There you go. Why didn't the album hit
Chinese
number 1 in
food.
This is what's fascinating to me. Why did this album never hit number 1 in the States? It never did. Here's why. Dangerous Minds soundtrack, Cracked Review, Jagged Little Pill, Daydream, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, Dog Food, and the self-entitled Alice in Chains album is why.
What is Daydream?
Daydream was Mariah Carey.
Yeah, that's Mariah Carey, but what's Melancholy and the Infinite
That's Smashing
Sadness?
Pumpkins. The world is a vampire.
Yes, that was that one.
The only song I know from there is Take Back 1979.
It was a great year.
No. Musically, Oasis have been regarded as a rock band. More specifically, the band's been described as Brit pop, indie rock, alternative rock, or pop rock. You think they'd fight you over that?
Probably.
Oasis were most heavily influenced by the Beatles. Hot take here. Beach Boys are greater than the Beatles.
It's not hot.
Not true.
It's every week now.
An influence that was frequently labeled as an obsession by British media. The band was also strongly influenced by the other 1960s British invasion acts, including the Kinks, the Rolling Stones, and the Who?
Who?
Nice.
Despite parting ways in 2009, Oasis remain hugely influential in British music and culture and are now recognized as one of the biggest and most acclaimed bands of the 1990s.
And they're getting back together.
I know. I saw that when I was in Ireland, and it was all over the news.
Yeah.
In all, Oasis has won 6 Brit Awards from 18 nominations, including Outstanding Contribution to Music and Best Album of the Last 30 Years, 17 NMW Awards, 9 Q Awards, 4 MTV Europe Music Awards, and 2 Ivor Novello Awards.
I don't even know what that means.
As of this year, Oasis has sold more than 75 million records worldwide, making them one of the best-selling music artists of all time.
Not that original, though.
I said maybe.
Legal action has been taken against Noel Gallagher and Oasis for plagiarism on 3 occasions.
Wow.
The first was the case of Neil Innes suing to prove the Oasis song Whatever borrowed from his song How Sweet to Be an Idiot, which makes sense that Noel Gallagher was recording it. In the second incident, Oasis was sued by Coca-Cola
Oof.
and forced to pay $500,000 in damages to the New Seekers after it was alleged the Oasis song Shaker Maker had lifted words and melody from I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing. I'd like to teach the world to sing. When asked about the incident, Noel Gallagher joked, "Now we all drink Pepsi, you asshat." On the third and final occasion, when promotional copies of What's the Story Morning Glory were originally distributed, they contained a previously unreleased bonus song called Step Out. This promotional CD was quickly withdrawn and replaced with a version that omitted the controversial song, which allegedly similar to Stevie Wonder's Uptight Everything's All Right. Make your own music, jackass. Quit stealing everyone's music. By the way, you're stealing them for songs that aren't that popular.
I've never heard of any of the 3.
Of what?
Those songs.
Any of those songs? Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're stealing them for songs that are hidden. Perhaps Noel needs a writer for him when he speaks, though, not necessarily when he's writing songs. In a 1995 interview with The Observer, he expressed a wish for Damon Albarn and Alex James of the rival band Blur, which we talked about earlier, to, quote, catch AIDS and die.
Wow.
Yikes.
I
I mean, it's a musical rivalry. I don't know that we need to go to the AIDS.
I haven't liked.
I've said that to a ton of people.
I know, but I haven't liked a lot of people. I don't know if I've ever thought or said that in my life.
You should get AIDS.
You know what would make this a whole lot better right now if you got AIDS.
Or if you hit Timmy's clip.
Hit my clip. My turn? That means it's my turn. Let's go to Timmy's Trivioki.
Figaro. Figaro, 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 Figaro.
That's not Tosca.
Ugh, my ears.
My neck, my back.
Yep, I remember. Everyone remembers when Elvis performed that.
Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama, Ilana, Montego, baby.
Y'all notice how there was no Beatles in there, but there was Beach Boys? I'm just saying.
Idiot.
Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take it.
Song number 1. Clue number 1. By the way, we had to dig deep here because we have done 1995 a few times.
Who cares?
I was like, nope, done that. Nope, done that.
We might be doing like 3 movies we've done before. I don't give a shit.
True.
Song number 1. Clue number 1. 2 old fucks. Not you.
Milli Vanilli.
Oh,
Blame it on the rain.
they were not, it was 95.
I think one of them was already dead by then.
They,
But that's okay.
they weren't old. Clue number 2. Where Zach and Slater went.
Bayside High.
Correct. Clue number 3. Wedding receptions.
Mambo number 12.
Where have all the Cowboys gone? Got it.
Clue number 4. Of the River.
Where the River Runs by Stone Temple
Billy
Pilots.
Joe in the middle of the night. Middle of the night. I go walking in my sleep.
Clue number 5. Dance craze.
The The Macarena.
TJ gets
Oh!
that. That would
What's
be
got
the
to do with
Bayside,
river?
the Bayside Boys remix of Los Del Rio.
I've gotten the last 4 songs in a row, counting last week.
TJ
Do you
has
know that?
been killing it.
I'm quitting the show.
I quit. Dave left again. He's a sore loser. He really is.
All right. Song number 2, clue number 1. One hit wonder. Clue number 2.
Oh, I know. Bitch.
Clue. No, she was not a one hit wonder.
Oh.
Clue number 2. Not the movie.
That thing you do.
I've been a bad girl. That
That's
girl.
Fiona Apple.
Yeah, she's hot.
That's
She is
Criminal. There's
Criminal.
no movie Criminal. So
I bet there is a movie named Criminal.
That thing you do. The Wonders.
no.
Doo-wop.
Clue number 3. Colorful band. Clue number 4. We got nothing in common.
You got that right.
Your music sucks. Tennessee. Hi.
Clue number 5. I said, well, that's the one thing we've got.
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
TJ gets it again. Deep Blue Something. Breakfast at Tiffany's. You say we got nothing in common.
I'm only here because I want you.
To start from.
All right, give me another one. I got nothing.
All right. Song number 3. Clue number 1. Fast Talker.
5 and 0.
Oh, Fast Talker. Let's see. Bone Thugs and Harmony, Crossroads.
Clue number 2. Fat Talker.
I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air.
Clue number 3. Peter Pan.
Robin Williams.
Clue number 4. Anne Boleyn.
Ambulance.
Anne Boleyn.
Oh, Blues Traveler. Hook.
Dave gets it.
Oh, nice.
Because the hook brings you back.
That album is, that band and that album is so criminally underrated.
It is.
That is
excellent.
a phenomenal album.
What is the name of the? I can see the page. It's got the cat on it.
Yeah.
Suck it in, suck it in, suck it in. If you're ready to tear and Berlin, make a desperate move or else you win. And then begin to see what you do to me. This TV is not for free, so PC is killing me. So desperately I sing to the end of love.
Let's got Hook.
I like that you're getting closer to your mic, even though it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When the Mountains Win Again, When I Come Around, like that was a phenomenal album.
Yep. Love that album.
I beat you, TJ.
No, you didn't.
On that song I did.
DJ won 2-1.
Oh, I won. Nice. Two weeks in a row? That has definitely not happened ever in the history of this show.
Speaking of winning, Nicolas Cage was winning here.
He sure was.
Well,
Never.
not necessarily. We'll find out about that in a little bit. But
did you just stop the show so you could burp into the microphone? That's fantastic. October 27th. Let's head over to the silver screen and house this for an Oscar-worthy blockbuster. Leaving Las Vegas, starring Elizabeth Shue and Nicolas Cage, premieres. Now, as everyone who has ever listened to the show knows, all three of us have an affinity for Elizabeth Shue.
Great nipples.
She is hot.
Homelander also has an affinity for her.
When she was in CSI, she was hot. I mean, she's never not been hot.
Like, I've never enjoyed side boob so much as the movie Cocktail.
There you go. Yeah. The film was written and directed by Mike Figgis, produced by Leila Kazay and Annie Stewart, and based off a semi-biographical novel by John O'Brien.
Became very biographical.
Yes, unfortunately. It starred Nicolas Cage, Julian Sands, and Elizabeth Shue. Ben Anderson, as we get into the plot here, is an alcoholic screenwriter who's lost everything and everyone. After all this strife and a healthy severance package from his boss, he decided to go to Vegas to drink himself to death. It's a good place to do it. While driving drunk from Los Angeles to the Las Vegas Strip, he nearly hits a sex worker by the name of Sarah.
Also, very good place to drive drunk between Los Angeles and Vegas.
Yeah. She's in an abusive situation with her pimp, Yuri Butsov. Yuri also has Polish mobsters after him, so he cuts ties with Sarah to save her from the mobsters. Ben finds Sarah again and offers her $500 to stay with him for an hour with no sex. The two agree to not interfere in each other's lives because eventually they move in together, but quickly become irritated by the other.
In a hotel.
In a hotel. The novel that was written by John O'Brien, as previously mentioned, O'Brien actually ended up dying of suicide in April of '94, so a year and a half after this movie, before this movie was released.
It was actually 2 weeks after he found out it was being made into a movie.
Yeah. Shortly after finding out his novel was the basis of this film. That was the end of my sentence, so thank you. Leaving Las Vegas was released on a limited basis and received 4 Academy Award nominations, with Nicolas Cage winning for Best Actor. Upon the critical success of this film.
Critical sex.
That's having sex on thumbtacks. It was released on nationwide on February 9th, 96. It was filmed on a $4 million budget and grossed just short of $50 million.
Leaving Las Vegas had a limited release, which was expanded and ultimately opened nationwide in February of 96, like TJ said, because of all the awards it had won. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film received an approval rating of 91% based on 53 reviews with an average rating of 7.7 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads, Oscar awarded Nicolas Cage finds humanity in his character as it bleeds away in this no-frills, exhilaratingly dark portrait of destruction. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times and Rick Groen from the Globe and Mail gave the film high marks. Ebert wrote, if there were 2 unplayable roles, they are the drunk and the whore with a heart of gold. Cage and Shue made these cliches into unforgettable people.
Jesus, Roger.
Ebert named Leaving Las Vegas best of 1995 and would eventually rank it as the 8th best film of the 1990s.
7.
I've never seen it.
What?
I actually, you know what? I haven't either.
He drinks whiskey off her nipples. It's great.
Now
I am going to watch it later.
Right now.
See y'all.
I got to quit the show. I'll be back.
Here.
All right. Fun facts. No, you guys got to be here for this.
Okay.
By the way, I wish I was Nicolas Cage for this movie. Just saying. Nicolas Cage, I mean, other than drinking off her nipples and whatnot. Nicolas Cage researched his character by binge drinking and visiting many hospitalized career alcoholics. Is that a career?
I sure.
Elizabeth Shue associated with prostitutes and interviewed them on the Strip in Las Vegas. To get ready for his role, Nicolas Cage filmed himself drunk to study his speech patterns. No, honey, I'm doing work for this film I got coming up.
I think I should do that this weekend. Get all liquored up and film myself and put it on the Ram Network.
You should. And then we'll reenact leaving Las Vegas. You can drink whiskey off TJ's nipples. Ben doesn't eat a single thing during the entire film. This reinforces his dependence on alcohol as a chronic. Alcoholics usually forget to eat or can't force down food. During the restaurant scene, he puts spaghetti on his fork but doesn't eat it. And when Sarah fixes him rice, he eats an ice cube instead. Yikes. So you'd think, he won an Oscar. He probably got handsome pay for this.
Mm-hmm.
Nicolas Cage and Mike Figgis never got paid for the making of this film. Each was supposed to get $100,000, but the production company, Lumiere, claimed the film never went into profit despite it grossing $32 million from an estimated $3.6 million budget. Huh?
Wow.
A well-known drink manufacturer, Jack Daniels, objected to a man drinking himself to death. So every shot that had a bottle of their product clearly visible was digitally changed to mask the label on the bottle. I mean, I get that. You probably don't want that out there.
I mean, I don't like, hey.
I mean, it's not good advertising. The liquor choice for absolute drinking yourself to death.
Like, hey, that man chose to end his life with alcohol, and he chose us. Look at
Chose
that.
us. I feel like we should hit someone's clip.
Clip.
Oh, it's time for Game Fave. Have you seen it?
You slipper the hot beef injection.
We're men in tights, tight tights.
Maybe next time I'll think before it needs heat.
I got damn it, I got nothing, guys.
Five movies. Have your paper and pencils ready. Timmy, I'm going to need you to say the movie this time for the people that listen to us on the radio.
Okay.
And not just,
We're not on the radio, by the way.
you're on my car radio, bitch.
Watch us on YouTube.
Here we go. Five movies. Some of these are tough.
I'm looking forward to it.
Movie number A. With a budget of $30 million. Our first movie this week grossed $115.1 million at the box office. This is an American gangster comedy film. A mobster travels to Hollywood to collect a debt and discovers that the movie business is much the same as his current job. This film stars John Travolta, Gene Hackman, Rene Russo, so hot, and Danny DeVito.
I got nothing.
Got to write something.
I did.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5.
I can see the movie poster.
TJ wins.
Get Shorty.
TJ with the
Yeah.
win
Ah.
I put In the Mob. I don't know.
in the mob. In the mob now, starring Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore and Robert De Niro.
All right. Moving along. Movie number B on a budget of $10 million. Our second movie this week grossed $24.1 million domestically. This is an American crime film. A Vietnam vet adjusts to life after the war while trying to support his family. But the chance of a better life may involve crime and bloodshed. This film stars Lorenz Tate, Keith David, and Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
Man! Think of money.
It's one word, right?
No, think of money. What is on money? Timmy C.
Oh, hold on. Give me just a second.
3, 2, 1. Timmy C.
Dead presidents.
There you go. Timmy C. Dead presidents. TJ Steppins.
You told me to think of money, so I wrote think of money.
I'm gonna give
TJ
Timmy half. Give
TJ
Timmy
wrote
half a point.
On paper.
Timmy, 1/2. What'd you have before, Timmy?
I couldn't think of anything, but I knew I could see all these movie posters.
Yeah. Here we go. You guys better both get this or you're losing. I will not podcast with you next week.
You threatened to do that 4 times in the show.
With a budget of $45 million. Our third movie this week grossed a total of $37.8 million at the box office. This is an American erotic drama film. A mysterious young drifter who calls herself Nomi Malone hitches a ride to Las Vegas, where she finds work as a stripper and sets about clawing her way to the top. This film stars Jessie Spano herself, Elizabeth Berkley, and Gina Gershon. TJ.
I have no idea. And Timmy only gave me like 3 seconds.
Striptease.
Timmy is wrong too. So TJ,
Oh,
you
shit,
have
that's
5.
the Demi Moore one.
That's what you get for turning it in. TJ, 5. Think of Las Vegas strippers.
What the hell was
4,
the name of that movie?
3,
I'm going.
2.
Got it.
TJ,
Las Vegas Strip.
fuck me. Showgirls.
Showgirls. That's
Ah,
it. Damn it.
nobody get that.
I was 10. I've never seen
Demi
it.
Moore had better tits. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Here we go. I quit the show.
Hey, good news, TJ. We ain't got to worry about Dave next week and his shitty audio.
Yeah,
I know. God, I don't know what's. I'm gonna throw
Forgot
this
his fucking
MacBook out the
headphones.
window. Movie number D on a budget of $10 million. Our 4th movie this week grossed $303,841 domestically.
Someone got fired for that.
They made money in the end.
Did it have Hasselhoff in it?
This is an American coming-of-age comedy drama film. This film's one of Dave's faves. I went to do it in this microphone, but it didn't work. 24 hours in the lives of the young employees at an independent music store where they all grow up and become young adults thanks to each other and the manager. They must all do everything they can to keep the store from joining a chain store with strict rules. This film stars Anthony LaPaglia, Renee Zellweger, and uber fine at the time, Liv Tyler. And you see her in a bra and panties. Panties. 5, 4, 3.
You were right, Dave. These are tough.
2, 1.
Once again,
Records.
Empire Records. I could see Liv Tyler standing there like this on the movie poster.
I didn't get that one.
Damn it.
I think we're both 1 and 3 so far in the show.
We're not doing good.
I mean, my answers are Get Shorty, Think of Money, Las Vegas Strip, and Half Baked was what I wrote for the last one.
You didn't guess in the mob. So
Because that's true.
All right, here we go. Movie number 5. With a budget of $6.1 million. Our last movie this week grossed $2.1 million at the box office.
It's not great.
This is an American buddy comedy film. Both dumped by their girlfriends. 2 best friends seek refuge in the local mall where an episode of Truth or Date is being filmed. This film stars Shannon Doherty, Jeremy London, and Jason Lee.
Oh, this is not what I thought of.
it went on to make plenty of money.
Made
don't worry.
plenty of money. This is a cult. So is Empire Records became a cult classic.
It is, yes.
Just like this one.
It also had Ben Affleck in it.
Yep.
Who's your favorite new kid?
And Jay
Call
and
me
Silent
Donnie.
Bob. TJ Steppins.
Mallrats.
Yes. Timmy C.
Mallrats.
Mallrats. Both. All right, so we got
Until you said the actors, I was writing Half Baked. Or not Half Baked. I was going to write Biodome.
They were not in a mall, sir.
they thought they were going to a mall in Biodome. So I'm going to give you a half point for that, TJ, just because.
Thank you. That checks out.
TJ, 2.5 to 2.
Because they did think it was the mall in the movie. They were trying to pee in the mall.
Yeah.
And they peed in a river.
Interesting.
I have no choice
Let's head
but to
to
hear you.
the Fall Classic, October 28th. It's time for a star-studded World Series between the Atlanta Braves and the then Cleveland Indians. This is arguably one of the greatest World Series ever played and included 10 Hall of Famers in the forms of Bobby Cox, Tom Glavine, John Sherholtz, Chipper Jones, Greg Maddux, Fred McGriff, John Smoltz, Eddie Murray, Jim Tomei, and Dave Winfield, although Winfield did not play in the World Series. He was injured.
We 72.
The Indians
also.
had won. They did. They won 100 games during the regular season, while the Braves had won 90. The Indians also finished 30 games ahead of the second place team in their division, which was Kansas City. And if you want to keep track, that means Cleveland won 100 games. Kansas City won 70 and 74. ABC had the television rights with Al Michaels, Jim Palmer, and Tim McCarver, who thinks reading things can affect your way of thinking, as we found out last week. What's interesting is that they shared television rights with NBC, as they had Bob Costas, Joe Morgan, and Bob Uecker on the call. The reasoning for ABC and NBC, so they would alternate games throughout the series, the reason why they both had exclusive rights is because ABC had the 94 World Series, which if you pay attention to Life or the show, that was the baseball strike. That was the year there was no World Series.
Psst, psst.
What?
If they both have it, they're not exclusive rights.
I know.
Okay.
They're duo exclusive.
ABC had exclusive in 94, NBC had it in 95, but they had to merge.
Which makes them not exclusive.
This series pulled an average 19.5 Nielsen rating, making this the highest watched World Series since the 94 strike, which is still true to this day. Second is 96, which was Braves-Yankees, then 97, which was Cleveland-Florida. What else made this series great? Outside of Game 4, which was a 5-2 win for Atlanta, they won in Cleveland. Every game was decided by one run, including the Game 6 clincher, where Atlanta won 1-0. Glavine won the World Series MVP due to his Game 6 performance, where he pitched 8 innings of one-hit ball and carried a no-hitter into the 6th. Atlanta's sole run and game-winning run was a solo home run by David Justice in the bottom of the 6th.
Their soul run, SOUL run.
Don't worry, the fans don't know that, okay? How was the attendance for the World Series after the strike? They drew a total of 286,385 people, averaged 47,731 fans per game, and the 3 games in Atlanta had 51,876, 51,877, and 51,875 fans.
Boo.
Boo.
The Braves jumped out to a 2-0 series lead after the first 2 games in Atlanta, and it looked like their championship drought would surely be coming to an end. Game 3 in Cleveland was highly dramatic, with the Braves scoring 3 runs in the top of the 8th to take a 6-5 lead over the Indians, but Cleveland was able to score the tying run off a Sandy Alomar Jr. double in the bottom of the 8th to even the score. Eventually, in the bottom of the 11th, fat-ass Eddie Murray singled to center, allowing pinch runner Alvaro Espinoza to score, and finally getting Cleveland in the win column. That Game 3 was officially 4 hours and 9 minutes long.
Hell to the no.
After winning Game 4, the Braves seemingly had it all wrapped up with a commanding 3-1 series lead, but Cleveland fought back to win 5-4 in Game 5 and sent the series back to Atlanta. Game 6 was everything that I find great about baseball. First and foremost, TJ already said they won 1-0. Dave Justice got the SOUL home run in the 6th. Dave Justice drew the ire of the Atlanta fans prior to that game, saying they did not bring enough energy for them in the World Series. So fans were pissed at him.
Yes.
This got them unpissed real quick. Who doesn't love a close baseball game? I know I do. When games are tied or one-run games, every swing of the bat has importance. Especially with the likes of Jim Tomei, Albert Bell, Manny Ramirez, Dave Justice, and Fred McGriff all out there taking swings. Anything can happen. I love low-scoring baseball games.
Baseball's dead.
Kenny Lofton, we didn't even mention him.
You know who we didn't mention yet? Ah, yes. Car murder enthusiast Albert Bell.
That was a golf cart.
Cart.
Nope, it's a car.
Oh, is there more?
Thought he ran over trick-or-treaters with his golf
He
cart.
did.
It's a car.
That was episode 1 of the show. We talked about that.
Will you shut up? You're killing my shit. Albert and his fraternal twin, Terry, were born August 25th, 1966 in Shreveport, Louisiana, the son of Albert Bell Sr., a high school baseball and football coach, and Carrie Bell, a former math teacher. Imagine being a twin, and one kid gets the junior, and you got to be Terry.
Mm.
Back it up, Terry. Terrible. I guess that explains his better than you kind of attitude, though.
Mm.
In 1995, Bell became the first player in Major League history to hit 50 home runs and 50 doubles in the same season. The last player before him to reach as many as 40 in both categories had been Fat Ass Willie Stargell in 1973. Bell's surly reputation and disdain for the media cost him votes for the 1995 MVP award. He finished second in voting to Boston Red Sox Mo Vaughn, even though he led the American League that season in runs scored, home runs, RBIs, slugging percentage, and total bases, and outpaced Vaughn head-to-head in every important offensive category except RBIs. They finished tied. Bell was suspended in 1994 for using a corked bat, resulting in a 7-game suspension.
He also ran over a second baseman.
With his forearms. Poor Fernando Vina.
A profane outburst directed at a group of reporters in the team's dugouts, including NBC sports personality Hannah Storm, was widely reported during the 1995 World Series. He was unrepentant afterward. Quote, the Indians wanted me to issue a statement of regret when the fine was announced, but I told them to take it out. I apologize for nothing. Then we get to what we've referenced for years now on here.
Yes.
In October 1995, Bell's house in Euclid, Ohio was egged by teenagers after he turned away trick-or-treaters on Halloween. Bell chased one of the trick-or-treaters in his car, not a golf cart, his car.
So wait a minute. It's October of 95 now, as we're doing the show. So he's mid-World Series.
No, it's after. 'cause
Chasing.
It's Halloween.
So it's a week or two after. He had just lost the World Series, and he's mowing children
Now
down
he's
in his car.
Yes. Bell chased one of the trick-or-treaters in his car. Bell was fined $100 for reckless operation of a vehicle. The guardian of the teenager later sued Bell for $850,000, contending that Bell's car had bumped into the teenager. The lawsuit was settled in 1997.
You kind of like that, right?
But today, I'm the greatest of all time.
Turn it and wow! McCurdy with a great left.
Here it is. 8. Pressure with 3. Weston's going to run the ball. Makes a guy miss. Comes down to over the second rafter. Off the floor. Nothing. Through the window. Off the wall. Nothing but net. You like that? You like that? I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
Here we go. Box Score Trivia 1995 Baseball Edition. There's a lot of big names on all these lists. So we're going to start with batting average. There's 3 I absolutely know you will not get. So you're going to have to give me the other 7.
Barry Larkin.
What are we doing? Batting average?
Yeah, off to a great start. A no for Barry Larkin.
Batting average.
Andres Galarraga.
No.
Dave Justice.
Timmy's 0 for 3. Dave, you want to jump in?
Tony Gwynn, baby.
Led the league at 368.
How many we
Frank
gotta go?
Thomas.
No Frank Thomas. You got to get 7.
Tampa
Mo
Rays
Vaughn.
legend Wade Boggs.
10th, 324.
Mo Vaughn.
Mo Vaughn, no.
Barry
Jesus.
Bonds.
Mark Grace.
Barry
9th,
Bonds.
326. Barry Bonds, no.
Kenny
You
Lofton.
got 4.
Bobby Bonilla.
Bobby Bonilla, 329 and 8th. He was actually one of the ones I didn't think you'd get.
Ricky Henderson.
No.
Give us some teams. Give us some teams.
Seattle, the Dodgers.
Edgar Martinez.
Who?
Edgar Martinez.
Edgar Martinez, 2nd, 356.
A-Rod.
No, he's the
95?
only Mariner.
Okay.
All right, next team.
Dodgers, Rockies, Astros, Twins, Angels.
Bichette.
Dante Bichette, 4th, 340. So now you've got 1, 2, 3,
Astros.
4,
Biggio.
5, 6. You need one more. No
Biggio.
Biggio.
Bagwell.
He was one of the killer bees. That is not Biggio or Bagwell. It's the other one.
Berkman.
Lance Berkman.
That was later.
Oh. Who could it have been?
You'll know when I say his
I thought
name.
it was Biggio, Bagwell, and Berkman.
Nope.
Bart Thomas.
Old Bart. Again, I will the Dodgers, Houston, the Twins, and the Angels.
Kirby Puckett?
Kirby Puckett.
No.
Twins. Kent Herbeck.
No. He would go on to play for the Yankees.
Elvis Gerbeck.
Was a Chief. And
Andrew
49er.
Jones?
Never played for the Twins.
He played for the Braves, stupid.
And he was like 13.
Yeah.
One more guess each. Again, here we go. Dodgers, Astros, Twins.
Piazza.
Mike Pizza, 3rd, 346.
All right, so give me the other ones again.
Here's the 3 you did not get.
No,
Let's see.
give me teams.
Tim Salmon was 7th, 330.
I want teams. I haven't taken my last guess.
Oh,
yet,
you were gonna guess
asshole.
Tim Salmon on the Angels?
No, I was not guessing
Okay.
Tim Salmon.
Minnesota.
He was guessing Rod Bass.
Minnesota and who?
and Houston. The 3rd killer bee. And it's not Jim Brazell or B. Brian Blair.
I was getting ready to say Brian Blair.
Well, Biggio and
Are we gonna punch
who?
ourselves?
Tell
when
me.
we say
Yeah,
this?
tell me.
Boggs, Grace, Bonilla, Tim Salmon, Chuck Knobloch of the Twins batted 333.
Oh,
5th, Derek Bell of the Houston Astros 334.
He was not a killer bee.
Yes, he was.
That did no.
Okay.
that's Killer D.
Dante
D,
Bichette.
D for dumbass for TJ. He was not a
Like-
killer bee.
So wait, Biggio was Craig Biggio's first name Biggio?
The
Yeah.
killer bees were Bagwell, Biggio, and Berkman.
No.
Derek Bell was a fucking Cub. He doesn't even count.
Actually, I don't. That was George Bell, you dumbass.
No, Derek Bell became
No,
a Cub.
no, he did. No, he did not. I will bet money on that.
How much?
Dante Bichette, Mike Piazza.
How much y'all betting?
Edgar
I'm looking it up right now.
Tony Gwynn.
I'm looking it up right now.
Blue Jays, Padres, Astros, Mets, Pirates.
That's what I said.
You can suck it whenever you'd like.
I don't see anything about him being a killer bee, though.
Oh shit, he went to King High School. That was my high school's arch rival. Literally like 3 miles apart. I didn't know
Okay.
he was from
His
Tampa, Florida.
Astro. God damn it. You're right. I hate
Oh, that's weird that I would just not make that shit up. Let's move on to home runs.
On April 25th, Bell and pitcher Scott Sanders were arrested in New York City before a game against the New York Mets as police claimed that the pair had offered an undercover policewoman $20 in exchange for oral sex.
Wow.
$20 in 1995 was a lot.
You think an MLB player would be able to just be like, "Hey, lady, I'm in
All right,
there."
home runs. Let's get crazy here. Albert
Home
Bell.
runs, you got to give me all of them but one. There's only
Barry
one
Bonds.
that you'd get.
Barry Bonds.
Albert Bell led the league with 50. Barry Bonds, no.
Mo Vaughn.
Frank Thomas.
You're a muted dummy.
I had a cough. Mo Vaughn was tied for 5th with 39. Frank Thomas was tied for 2nd with 40. So there's 3.
Mark
All right.
McGuire.
What are you doing over there?
Who?
You.
Scratching my leg.
Okay. Mark McGuire tied for 5th with 39.
Bonilla.
Bobby Bonilla, no.
Wow. I never thought of him as an average hitter that didn't hit home runs.
Give us some teams.
Kansas City, Colorado, the Cubs, Boston. Oh, no, you already got him. Baltimore and Seattle.
Brady Anderson.
No.
Sammy Sosa, Cubs.
Tied for 8th with 36.
The Kid. Ken Griffey Jr.
No.
A-Rod.
Bichette again.
Played next to Griffey.
Dante
A-Roll.
Bichette again.
Dante Bichette tied for second with 40.
Oh, Mike Cameron?
No.
All right, give us teams again.
Kansas City. That's the one you're probably not going to get. Kansas City. Colorado has 2, so you got one of them. Baltimore and Seattle.
Had Bichette and Larry Walker?
Larry Walker tied for 8th with 36. 2 more. Baltimore and Seattle. This player's from Baltimore. His defining moment would come in the courtroom, not on the field.
Oh, Palmero.
Rafael
man,
Palmeiro
Rafael.
tied for 5th with 39. I did not take steroids.
Liar.
Who's Kansas City?
Huh?
Trying to think of who Kansas City is.
Seattle is the other one. Yeah, Kansas City or Seattle. Those are the 2 you got left.
And he played next to Griffey
Yeah, and right.
and hit more. Jay Buhner.
Jay Buhner, 40. Here's the one you missed. 10th place of the Kansas City Royals. Third baseman Gary Gaetti had 35.
Oh my! We should have got that.
I guessed it in average,
We should have got that.
but I thought he was a twin.
We'll skip RBI. We'll skip RBIs because there's only two players that are different. So we'll go to pitching wins.
Maddox.
Let's do 5 here. Greg Maddox tied for the league lead with
Glavin.
19. Glavin tied for 8th with 16.
David Wells.
Tied for 8th with 16.
John Smoltz.
John Smoltz. No.
Mike Mussina.
Tied for the league lead with 19.
Randy Johnson.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Tied for 3rd with 18. There's 5.
Roger
Kurt Schilling.
Clemens.
Do you want to keep going or do we want to list off?
Yeah,
the rest?
keep going.
Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens. No.
Give
Kurt
us the
Schilling.
teams.
One of them was traded during the season. Oh, no. Never mind. That was David Welch. You got him. Boston. 2 from Cleveland.
Pedro.
The Dodgers. Texas. Another player from 2 teams. And Cincinnati.
Wakefield.
Cincinnati.
I love saying Cincinnati because Tim will now focus the rest of his time trying to figure out who that is.
Was Tim Wakefield on there?
Tim Wakefield 8th with 16.
Jamie Moyer.
No.
Texas.
Kevin Brown.
No.
No, the singer, Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers tied for 6th with 17. Let's see. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left.
What are the teams left?
Cleveland, the Dodgers, somebody that played for 2 teams.
Cliff Lee?
No.
No.
And Cincinnati. Let me find out the 2 teams he played for here. I believe one of them was I think he was traded to the Yankees.
This is the year the Yankees really started to load up on everybody. David Cone?
David Cone tied for 3rd with 18. 2 from Cleveland, the Dodgers, and Cincinnati are your teams left.
2 from Cleveland.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
One of them's in the record books for most consecutive.
Did
shutout innings
Hershiser
pitched.
play for Cleveland?
Oral Hershiser tied for 8th with 16. 1 for Cleveland. the
Damn, I don't
Dodgers,
remember him
Cincinnati.
playing for Cleveland.
He did. I think it was just this one season.
Scott Williamson?
No. 5 seconds.
Cincinnati.
5
Cincinnati.
seconds. You guys are killing it.
Jose
You're not
Rijo.
No, you're not going to get the guy from Cincinnati.
Mark Furman.
Here we go. Here's the 3 you missed. From Cleveland, Charles Nagy had 16.
Chuck Nagy.
The Dodgers, Ramon Martinez had 17.
Damn it.
Cincinnati, Pete Schurik had 18.
I'd have bought it if you'd have said Pete Harnish, but I don't remember a Pete shirt, although
Pete
I
Schurik.
remember him playing for the Pirates.
Let's finish up with Sage.
I almost said Nomo for Dodgers, but I don't remember if he was there in 95.
He was. The 95 was his rookie year.
Was it? Because that was the year his rookie year was his best year.
Yeah, he beat Chipper Jones for rookie of the year in 95.
No shit. I was thinking it was 96.
Here we go. We'll do saves. We'll just go until you can't name any more. There's a lot of big hitters on the saves list.
Bobby Thigpen.
Always. You've gotten that right once in the history of the show.
Trevor Hoffman.
Randy Myers.
Trevor Hoffman tied for 10th with 31. Randy Myers second of your Chicago Cubs with
That's all I got.
38.
Because Tim says Randy Myers every week.
John Franco.
No. There are no Reds.
Well, he could have been a Met at that point.
Are there any Rays on this list?
There are no Mets.
John Rocker.
No.
He wasn't there yet.
Actually, I read researching the World Series story. Pedro Borbon was their closer here in 95.
Lee
Yeah,
Smith.
Rocker wasn't there yet.
Lee Smith, third with 37. Can you name the team?
Fuck no.
37.
California Angels.
Dennis Eckersley. Was he still hanging around?
He was, but he's not on the list. He was playing for St. Louis here in 95.
I'm
Give us
so
some
bad
team.
with closers, man.
The Yankees, the Royals, the Dodgers, the Phillies, the White Sox, the Giants, the Cardinals,
Gagne.
and Cleveland.
In 95,
No, Eric Gagne.
Greg Gagne was retired by 95.
Greg
Burton
Gagne.
Goose Gossage.
All right, 5 seconds. This went horribly wrong quickly. Wow.
Rick Vaughn.
Had
Major
had the Yankees historic closer started yet? What
No.
was his name?
This was the one before.
Okay. Oh,
Here we go.
Wetland.
John Wetland tied for 10th with 31. Here's the ones you missed. Jeff Montgomery of the Royals, Rick Aguilera, Todd Worrell.
Rick Aguilera and Todd Worrell were
Is he
still
related to
around in
Christina?
95.
Yes, he is. Are you ready for this name from the past? Heathcliff Slocum at 32.
Heathcliff, no one should.
Roberto Hernandez had 32.
El Duque?
No, Roberto Hernandez, not Rod Beck,
Orlando.
Tom Hankey, and your league leader of the Cleveland Indians, Jose Mesa, had 46. And that was Box Score Trivia. Let's head into the deep cut. Let me cough for a second. October 25th.
Professional.
Thank you. One of the subjects of what could be regarded as one of the biggest tennis matches ever, Bobby Riggs dies at the age of 77. Now, if you're unaware of Bobby Riggs, maybe asking yourself, what exactly constitutes the biggest tennis match ever? Well, it wasn't
Pete
just
Sampras in it.
he was not. And there was no Andre Agassi or Nikon cameras. It wasn't just the participants of the game, but also the cultural impact that it had. But let's start introducing Bobby Riggs first. After a career that went back to 1934, when Riggs was only 14 years old when he started as an amateur. He actually had a successful career, winning 103 titles, and was the #1 tennis player in the world in 1939. But Riggs also had a gambling problem. Much like Pete Rose, Riggs claims to have only gambled on himself. In fact, in 1939, Riggs bet on himself to win all 3 Wimbledon championships, the singles, the doubles, and the mixed doubles. He did, in fact, accomplish this, winning approximately $1.5 million in current money.
Which was like 84 cents back then.
Yes. But with World War II going on, he was unable to take his money out of the country. He was able to get it after the war in 1946. Don't feel too bad for him. I say all of those things to get to why Riggs is so known in the tennis world. In 1973, down and out on his luck, Riggs saw an opportunity to make money while also drawing attention to the world of tennis. The now 55-year-old Riggs challenged the #1 tennis player of the world. Now, when I say #1 player, I mean #1 women's player in the form of 29-year-old Billie Jean King. Riggs's gimmick was the men's tennis was so superior and women couldn't compete with him even at age 55. Sounds like Andy Kaufman. Initially, King refused to entertain the idea of playing Riggs, so Riggs settled initially for Margaret Court. The two played on Mother's Day 1973 in Ramona, California, and Riggs destroyed her in 2 sets in less than an hour. The performance for Riggs landed him on the cover of Sports Illustrated and Time magazine. That fascinates me. That man beat the shit out of a women's tennis player, and he got on Time magazine for it.
I'm going to play Serena Williams and beat the shit out of her.
I don't think that's how that's gonna go down.
Oh,
She
we're not
would
gonna-
figuratively and literally beat the shit out of
Oh,
me.
we're not gonna play tennis. That shit ain't fair.
Oh, okay.
We can play badminton.
Oh, I like that. This game is now
She
known
would
as
still kill you.
Yeah, probably. This game is now known as the Mother's Day Massacre. When Court lost, King decided to play Riggs. When they finally played, they went to the Astrodome and played on primetime television on ABC, pulling in 90 million worldwide viewers. They also had 30,472 fans in attendance, making this the highest attendance for a tennis match in North America still to this day.
To be fair, tennis courts don't hold that many people.
That's true. The stage was set. Could King beat the aging Bobby Riggs?
Following Court's loss to Riggs, King decided to accept Riggs' challenge in the match billed Battle of the Sexes.
Steve Martin was a prop comic.
The odds makers and writers favored Riggs. Bobby Riggs would build an early lead, but King would go on to win in straight sets 6-4, 6-3, 6-3 for the $100,000 winner-take-all prize. In a 2015 interview, King stated that most people do not remember she was initially behind in the first set, and it looked bad for her in the early going. Rather than playing her usual aggressive game, King mostly stayed at the baseline, at least at first, easily handling Riggs' lobs and soft shots, making him cover the entire court as she ran him from side to side and beat him at his own defensive style of play. Martina Navratilova in 2023 stated the reason the 55-year-old Riggs lost to the 29-year-old King was simply because of age. Navratilova said Riggs lost because Bobby was too old and added a 35-year-old Bobby would have beaten all of us.
Well, I hope so.
King viewed the match as more of a publicity stunt, feeling that beating Riggs was important both for women's tennis and for women's liberation movement as a whole. She later said, I thought it would set us back 50 years if I didn't win that match. It would ruin the women's tour and affect all women's self-esteem. Prior to this, Billie Jean King was in a, what's the cigarettes? The Virginia Slims 9 tennis tournament.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Virginia Slims sponsoring a tennis tournament?
Well, here's what I can tell you. The odds makers and writers favored Riggs. He built an early lead, but as Dave said, King won in straight set 6-4, 6-3, 6-3 for the $100,000 winner-take-all prize. That's half the story. The ESPN program Outside the Lines made an allegation that Riggs took advantage of the overwhelming odds against King and threw the match to get his debts by the mob erased. The program featured a man who had been silent for 40 years for reasons of self-protection, who claimed that he had worked at a country club and there had heard several members of the mafia talking about Riggs throwing the match in exchange for canceling his gambling debt to the mob. The program also stated that Riggs' close friend and estate executor Lorne Kuhn vehemently denied Riggs was ever in debt to the mob or received a payoff from them. In the 2007 film adaptation of Battle of the Sexes, Riggs was played by Steve Carell with Emma Stone as Billie Jean King. Yummy.
That
She
movie
is hot.
That movie is outstanding. Also, you know that in this era they did this movie and they did the I Tanya movie, and they were crushing these like dramatically documentary movies. They were crushing them. This was great. Great movie.
There's a lot of talk that he threw this match. A lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are having, because I mean, he beat the other girl who was the #1 ranked tennis player in the world.
Margaret Court.
But apparently what a lot of people don't know is that the two became great friends after this.
Yes. She was the last person he talked to before he died.
So he was it started out as a sexist movement pretty much. But I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of in the court where I think he did throw it.
Well, I think he threw it, but I don't necessarily know if it was for the mob thing.
I don't know that.
I almost think that at the end it might have been, hey, I want to throw the women a bone.
So, but yeah, he was because he was a world-class tennis player in his day. But
Yes.
obviously at 55, you're not the same. But
Right.
I mean, you don't go from destroying the number one tennis player in the world to losing the next go round.
Just a few months later. Yeah, just a few months later. And you know, there's something to be said for that, because you see like the elite tennis players today, like Venus Williams, we mentioned Serena Williams, Joker, Nadal, like 40 years old is the ball in tennis.
Yeah.
He was 55 here.
Yeah. Anna Kournikova.
Oof. Sorry. What? Blacked out there for a second.
I just can't. 90 million people watch this.
90 million.
What that did.
There
for the
were
game of
4
tennis-
channels. What did you expect them to watch?
What that did for tennis was huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Although tennis is god awful boring.
It's not.
It's fun to play.
It's
terrible
very,
to watch.
no, I hate playing it, but I can
Terrible
watch
to
it.
watch.
All day
Fun
long.
to play. Love playing tennis.
You do not. You're
I
way
used,
too
to, I
fat
used to play tennis, yeah.
We tried to play it once in gym class when I was in high school, and I kept hitting the ball over the fence, and the gym teacher was like, you can't play anymore.
Dave would pull an armpit trying to play tennis.
Pull an armpit.
You have to remember, I grew up going to a country club, Tim.
Well, I get rich people.
I grew up going to the Lions Club.
I grew up going to the American Legion.
Well, me too. If you enjoyed this week's episode, please let us know. Give us that 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to follow the show on Twitter at FF Popcast, on Instagram at Filter Free Popcast. Follow our network at Ram Sportsnet, and of course, find us on YouTube, Filter Free Popcast. As for us, you can find us on our social media platforms at Timmy C.
At Timmy C 1979.
Dollar Bill Dave.
For right now, at Dave in the HSV. That's changing next week, though. Motorboat Dave!
Motorboat Dave.
I like that a lot, actually. I am at T Stevens 91. Next week, we're going to cover October of 2006. We're going to continue looking at the baseball playoffs. Amy Winehouse releases an album. WikiLeaks is born, and so much more. This has been the Filter Free Popcast, and so long for now.
Joke of the week. What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball?
Not dad joke of the week.
Oh!